who are you supporting for the 2027 elections? Are you supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or is there someone else you're supporting?
You know, I am cleverly and carefully listening to the candidates, and I am eagerly awaiting solutions. I can dash Waziri Atiku Abubakar some headroom, because don't forget, I was a spokesperson 2 times back to back. So there are things I know that reside in his brain and his heart that he has not even told people, or the people that are around him claiming to be doing whatever have not even been able to regurgitate. I know that. I have followed Ashad Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the country's journey from 2019, looking at what we're trying to do and what we're trying to beat, and some of the quiet, restructuring and recalibration of the country. I see that. In the case of Peter, I see absolute zilch. Let me repeat. I see absolute nothing. I've never heard him on security say anything that if I were contesting, I won't be challenging him on. I've not heard him say anything on agri-safe to tell me the data of the land size and Indonesia and Malaysia. I've not heard him say anything on anything. I've not even heard him say anything on social stabilization of the country. So, but I concede that a lot of energy of young people who probably, like they used to say about the African, who love change of government without really thinking about whether it is for good or not for good, but it is his right. He will do what he can, but in terms of who can lead the country, trust me, it is between Ashad Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Waziri Atiku Abubakar, and one will obviously beat the other. So maybe I'm looking forward to a contest of, even if they want to do a contest of the presidential candidate, maybe you bring a contest of their spokespeople to come and talk to us on what type of policies exactly would you be bringing to let us know that there is hope. It's easy for you to say that when I get there, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. The man that is there is struggling with some things, and those things he's struggling with, I know they don't yield easily. So if somebody is telling me there's insecurity in the north, damn bloody what? If there's insecurity in the north, you want somebody to come there and kill all northerners? You have to go in a clinical manner. Security will be there. Attitudinal change is required. Reorientation is required. Religious leaders need to step out of their overheating the polity, and their speaking heads need to stop bullying people. Part of the reason why I'm a little bit not fully there is because I'm asking myself, are these people going to always keep coming to the table just screaming and shouting based on what? Our numbers in terms of human capital development and all that is very low. If you interrogate it, it's low because they insist that they're not going to worry about out-of-school children in certain parts of the country. And in some other parts of the country, people are paying a lot of attention to those issues. So, look, Nigeria is a contraption that is trying to be a country. And we have to find a way to make ourselves have some sort of, protocol by which we respect ourselves.
And Atiku, the election is between Atiku and Tinubu. Obi should wait for another time. Obi doesn't see what is happening in NDC. He doesn't see the game plan. Obi doesn't see it. They just pushed Obi into the center of the river. They play high politics for Obi. They want him to sink politically. Obi should wake up, open his eyes properly. But the election is between Tinubu and Atiku, and notwithstanding, the northerners will decide. Forget about the south, southwest, southeast. Whoever the northerners wants, maybe they want to make. They would want to make whoever will become the president.
A great and public way. Coming to my house for the second time in less than 6 months to commiserate with me over sighting incidents. The latest one being the fracas at the airport today. Your Excellency, you have always shown concern for my personal welfare and that of our friends and associates. And this visit further reinforces that concern that you've consistently shown, for which I will be eternally grateful. Your Excellency, what happened at the airport today, as you correctly observed, was most unfortunate, totally unnecessary, and probably criminal as well, because agencies have rules of engagement, and all I asked for, give me a letter of invitation, and I will visit your office. But it turned out that it was the ICPC that procured the DSS to abduct me and hand me over to them. The ICPC has never contacted me or sought to invite me up to the point we were at the airport. The EFCC had written inviting me, and I was out of the country. My lawyer wrote to them to say that I will be returning and I will be there on Monday at 10 a.m. But the ICPC, we've never had anything from them. But we understand that it was the ICPC, not the EFCC, that was responsible for what happened. And the ICPC chairman was acting on the direct orders of Nuhu Ribadu, the National Security Advisor. We have reduced security agencies to be arms of a political party and a government that knows it is unelectable and wants to remain in power at all costs. And Excellency, I assure you that what has happened today has further reinforced my belief that we must work hard, we must not sleep between now and March 2027 until we remove these tyrants from power.
Peter Obi will lose a lot of the places that he got in the last election. Comfortably, Atiku Abubakar will defeat Tinubu, bi'iznillahi ta'ala, because we will consolidate up north. Peter Obi will lose a lot of the places that he got in the last election, e.g. Lagos. There are so many places he cannot win, because even if you look at the south, Wike is there to checkmate him in the south, and in the southeast you have some very strong APC governors, for instance, that will checkmate his votes in the southeast. Of course, he will split the votes for Tinubu in quite a few places in the south, but up north he doesn't stand a chance. Definitely, he doesn't stand a chance, and we are the bulk of voters in this country. And if we can, we'll get the 25% that we need in the south in quite a few places. Then we'll be home and dry. Bismillah ta'ala.
Why do you believe Atiku is the strongest presidential candidate when compared with Peter Obi and President Tinubu?
Well, because he's not wicked, for instance. You can't compare him to Tinubu. I mean, you can't even compare Tinubu with anybody. Atiku is detribalized. Atiku is someone that believes in the country. So you can't even compare him with these local champions. As far as Obi is concerned, he begins and ends with Igbos. He cannot even make a bridge between himself and the Yorubas, or between himself and the North. He has not been able to make a bridge. All he has done is to whip up sentiments based on religion and tribe. Atiku is far beyond that. And as for Tinubu, he has broken up the bridges that he made. All the lies that he said about being Muslim and taking a Muslim vice president has been debunked by his attitude towards those people that gave him over 63% of the votes. So you see, if there is going to be free and fair election, if votes will count, and I'm sure this time around Nigerians will sit up and make sure that their votes count, then Tinubu or Obi do not stand a chance.
The APC has many state governors, and when you also put into consideration the recent performance of the APC in some of the by-elections we had, how realistic is it for
if you look at 2015, all the governors were in PDP. Nigeria has this history. All the governors migrated to PDP because it's a sycophantic country, but they were not able to deliver. They lost a lot of their seats. I'm sure the same thing will happen in 2027. There's no doubt. I have no fear of governors because they don't even control what they can get in their states. And they are so hated by the people in their states. So they do not represent the interests of their states. okay, and look at it more objectively. The governors are trooping down to Tinubu because they believe that he can make them win, or he can impose. And Tinubu is also depending on them because he feels that they can superimpose. And then coupled with the fact that what happened to Fabura in Rivers State, the fact that he was just impeached just like that by Mr. Tinubu, they all got scared. They all got scared. There was nothing. There was no reason to remove Fabura because there were no crisis in Rivers. I mean, compared to Zamfara, Kebbi, Sokoto, Benue, Plateau, even Borno, they didn't have crisis. But he decided that he had to teach the governors a lesson, and that was why they got scared and are trooping up to him. But at the end of the day, Nigerians will have their day.